Once and Always has been a hit on Netflix and with most of the Ranger community, and I believe that maybe we should be getting a series of this, and maybe it would be kind of cool if we would just have specials every other year or every year, regardless of like another series adaptation or a series altogether. With some flaws of Once and Always, I do believe that if Hasbro have looked at all these numbers, and we all know that they have, that they would be kind of deciding, hey, maybe we should have Once and Always like a series and kind of focus on some of the newer things. Me personally, I would love to see Min leading the team, maybe finding other rangers around and just going in and fighting monsters and having more of an adult tone with it, because I feel like that would be kind of a cool thing. You could have other rangers, you could have ranger kids, you can have whatever, or the kids of rangers. The thing I will also add in is I reckon that Hasbro have sold out of the new remastered figures. We had them at the fan event that came up. We know that they came out just before or after Once and Always, and they sold out quickly because people were hyped up for the remastered version as well as Once and Always. And generally, I bought as much as I could afford, and I really like that because I hadn't felt as excited to buy figures in a long time, even though that we've had them for yongs. Like, they've been out so many times. I was just excited to get hold of what I needed, and yeah, I think that with all of this, if you add in toys of, like, say, Min, other rangers later on down the line, people will really like it. Now, I don't know if this was a generic thing for the 30th that they were going to release them, but I think since Once and Always, it pushed the rest out and said, hey, you need to buy these, you need these in your collection. And lo and behold, I know a lot of people have bought them, considering they're sold out pretty much everywhere. So that's a really big hit. And I think Hasbro are looking at it going, yeah, do you know what? I think this is absolutely fantastic. This is what we want. With also seeing that Power Rangers doesn't need Super Sentai anymore, the fact is that they could make their own thing regardless. That again is a good sign, because it means that you don't have to stick with the traditions of Sentai, the storylines, whatever you wanted through those stories. You can now tell your own. And I think that's what Power Rangers has been missing for such a long time. Once and Always proves that you don't need any of that, and you can make your own and focus. You want to carry on with some of the lore that you had in Wild Force, have some of the stuff again that you wanted to talk about in Beast Morphers or Operation Overdrive or Mystic Force. Now you can focus in and complete all these like storylines that have been messed out for such a long time, and I feel like that is a fantastic thing to do. Once and Always has proven that they don't need Super Sentai anymore, they just need the suits. Yeah, you know what I mean. I also kind of think that when you look at the tone of the series, a more mature tone worked compared to what we had already. It's also going to be very interesting to see, because once now Cosmic Fury comes out very soon, or has done by the time you're watching this, depending on whereabouts you're watching this, Once and Always shows that you have a dark, more mature tone than anything that could be the maximum peak of Power Rangers, which works fantastically. So, you know, if we don't get that many fart jokes or anything like that, fine. But I do believe that having this more mature tone, very similar to, say, the CW. I will always keep saying about the CW, the very beginning of like the Flash, a couple of seasons. That's how I think the mature tone of Power Rangers should be. Because let's face it, kids aren't stupid. Adults aren't stupid. We need something a little bit more mature to kind of show that it's kind of progressed a little bit more than what it is. So I think in theory right now, the tone of Once and Always should kind of follow into Cosmic Fury and kind of go beyond. With looking back at how much fighting was in Once and Always, I feel like it was kind of a standard thing. Like, until it was pointed out, I generally thought this was the amount of fighting that you would normally see in Power Rangers anyway. And it's something that I think from now on should just be the norm. So we can easily kind of go, oh, this is kind of more maturing, or more mature. This is maturing faster than normal. It's just going to be very interesting to see how Cosmic Fury kind of grates, because again, it's something that hasn't been done for a long time. So how would a series work in my eyes? What would be the main thing? I've already mentioned that I think Min should be the leader. She should be going through, picking up other Rangers, you know, either say the kids of the Rangers already. Could you imagine that she brings in other people, say RJ, TJ, Cassie, then you have Gia, you could have Orion, you could have all these other characters, bringing them together to fight another evil. And I know that most of these actors would come back in a heartbeat because they love what they did on the show. And I think it'd be absolutely amazing to see this. And I generally really want to see a series like that's made of mixed up teams, mixed up rangers, rather than the generic, here is this one, this is the suits that we're using. So I think it'd be kind of cool to kind of see the different morphing styles and stuff like that. I think it would be fantastic for the way it is. Imagine the adventures that they can go on. You could make 10 episodes, you could make this 5 seasons, whatever it is, but could you imagine that you could tell stories all over the place? You're not kind of, as I said before, you're not kind of pitted on Super Sentai. You could do what you want, and I generally like the thought of that. It makes things a lot more interesting in my eyes than compared to other things. So for me, technically, I would love to see something brand new and fresh that isn't, oh look, we're using Torcuja next season, oh look, we're using Lupin Ranger versus Pata Ranger. I would love something just unique and different, and I feel like that's what Power Rangers needs. Once and always open the door so we could get our foot in. And I think going forward, that's what we should have like for most of the other seasons right now. The main villain could be anyone. You could make a brand new villain. We've seen this with Lord Zed when obviously they couldn't use Rita that much because of the footage that way. So you could have a scary villain come in. You could have someone that is really wanting to destroy the Rangers, but you could put your own spin on it. You don't have to have it like the past. Hell, you could even ask Toei to say, hey, could you make us this suit? Which they normally do, because again, at the moment, they're all, they're working with Hasbro and stuff like that. I just think this would be a fantastic opportunity to tell more stories along the once and always way. I generally do think that they should kind of correct and make sure that it all fits in and actually work properly rather than what we've got. My views have changed since writing this video, but effectively, I would love to see more of once and always type like leadership, the stuff that they want to do, but I also want to see it longer. I feel like if you were to make 55-minute episodes for the next like 10 episodes, then it would hold a lot more weight and we'd be like, do you know what, this is really impressive. One thing I really wish that they did, and they didn't kind of think of it in Operation Overdrive, was have Thrax. I would have loved to have seen the son of Rita, Repulsa and Lord Zed and have something like that. Maybe we will see something again very similar to that in general, but I feel like if you could have had that one as the main bad guy. The whole villain could have been original. Either way, I generally think now Once and Always has shown that what you can do with Power Rangers in general is that it's a good thing. But I am going to leave it there. What do you think? Do you think a Once and Always series would be? Who would you have with Min fighting the monsters? Let me know down below in the comments. And I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. If you want, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to check out the channel memberships, that would be grand. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. I want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters, and I wanted to shout out Kimono Cat. Your help does go a long way to support the channel, and if you want to consider helping the channel, then links to my Patreon as well as the channel members are listed below.
あらあら、チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。